And welcome back to the Innovative Experience Podcast, the untold stories of entrepreneurs, influencers, and individuals that are making space and noise in their community. Man, listen, y'all, I'm so glad to be back. Before we do anything, I need you to go ahead and subscribe to our channel. Send this episode to your mama, your auntie, your cousin. It does not matter. I'm telling you right now, today, man, we got some heat coming, man. So for all of our listeners, you know what we do. I have to bring this honorable guest that is on this platform today. This brother is a native of Valdosta, Georgia, the founder of E2B Productionz, founder of Unionaires, and arguably could say that one of the high-rising producers and musicians in the state of Georgia. I don't care what you say. I'm telling you what I know. But for all those that are listening, the Honorable E2. What's going on, baby?
Oh, man, you're too kind, dog. I'm good, bro. Life good, man. I'm good.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Can't
sir.
complain, bro.
Man, bro, I appreciate you, bro. I appreciate you coming on, man.
Nah, it's an honor. When you hit me, I said, man, let's get into it. Let's do it, dog. Let's do it.
Let's lock in, bro. So, man, listen. So when you think about it, man, I mean, just we can kind of go back and forward for this. Just think about where you at right now, man. You at the age of I'm going to throw his age out there. I'll let him man that. 21 years old.
For sure.
And you've, dude, the stuff you've done at your age, do you ever just sometimes just sit back and think about, like, where you are right now, man?
You know, you have to do that every now and then just to be appreciative, have gratitude. But I try not to get too caught up, because the moment, like, you're like, okay, I did this, I did that, complacency creeps in, man. You'll look up in 5 years, be done went by, you still in the same spot. So I try, keep it pushing, keep it moving. But I'm definitely grateful for all the opportunities and what I've done thus far in my life.
So let's talk about it, man. Let's talk about your upbringing. I mean, how early did you get into the musical journey? Like, was it just something that you started, or were you kind of pushed into it?
So my pops is a drummer.
Okay.
Eric Brown Sr., he's a drummer. My mom's not really into music like that, but my pop's uncles, which are the Brown brothers, they have a quartet group.
Wow.
My uncle JC, my uncle Henry. So my earliest musical memories are like my pops being on drums, or like going to a quartet show to hear my uncle sing.
Wow.
And I started on drums. And my pops taught me how to play keyboard. A lot of people don't know this, but my pops taught me how to play keyboard.
Wow.
First he started with me running key bass. So he would play keys on Sundays, and I would run the bass part. Right. And I remember the first song I learned was Let the Glory Rise, G. I played it that Sunday morning, and like it went from there. And it kind of on through there. It's just one thing after another one. Kind of got into production around high school. Probably about sophomore year, through a group called the Roberson Bunch.
Okay, got you.
Grateful for them, still working them to this day.
Good stuff.
And then from then on, it kind of went.
Okay, like, was he the type of pops, like, was he very, like, firm on you? Like, son, you gonna go in there, you gonna learn this music, like, you gonna have it right?
No, I honestly, like, he wasn't on me. It wasn't like going there learn it. It wasn't like a Joe Jackson type thing. It would just be, say we had a situation. Or so we had a situation where so my pops owns a funeral home too. I've been, like I tell people, I've been doing funerals longer than music.
Gotcha.
That was my first dream job. I wanted to be like him, being a mortician.
Wow.
So maybe after a funeral or something, or after a Sunday morning, he just then that was pitiful. Like, you were pitiful today. But he always encouraged me just as much as he got on to me. So it wasn't. I can't say he was like hard on me coming up, but it was definitely a factor of, like, if I was bad, he was gonna let me know, and if I was slacking, he was gonna let me know for sure.
Wow. I mean, bro, I'm gonna just throw this out here. I mean, when I think of just guys with their style and the versatility and professionalism, you at one of the tops, man.
Yeah, I don't take that lightly,
You know
bro.
what I'm saying? So I mean, you're someone that has set a pivotal moment, a pivotal mark for this community in this South Georgia region, and the things that you're doing, bro.
For sure.
So kudos to that, man, and
Yes,
just
sir.
the hard work that you have done with everything else. Like, now, let me ask you this. Now, I know you mentioned that you said in high school you worked with the Roberson Bunch, right?
Right.
Like, do you feel like that you're more of a writer producer, or like, I mean, like what is the beginning mark kind of started with you with that, even at that journey towards
So
high school?
at that journey, I kind of really just, thank God, Dez, he's the lead singer, founder of the Robertson Bunch. He just kind of threw me in it, but I really didn't know what I was doing. I didn't
Wow.
know. Early on, though, I would definitely say it was more music driven. The only time I would address like lyrics if it's something just didn't make sense. But as I grew in production, like I grew in writing and like I tell people, the job of the producer is to make the whole song make sense. So you can't worry about the music and the lyrics don't make, it goes hand in hand.
Right.
So as I came up in that capacity, like the writing aspect came along. But I wouldn't consider myself a writer. I make things make sense.
Make things
I
make
solve
sense.
problems, yeah, for sure.
Hey man, I mean, and we'll make sure we give him some shout outs a little bit at the end of the credits. But brother, like what we'll do, especially in this episode, we're gonna we'll find out at least all of the things that you produce. So this brother, man, he has a gift, gift from God, man. I mean, so you grew up in quartet.
Grew up quartet, baby.
Okay.
To the core.
So
To the core.
this is the question I got. I always wanted to ask you this question. So when it comes to CCM,
Yeah.
all of the Pentecostal,
Yeah.
like everything else, like, do you truly believe that you are versatile as a producer, or if you stuck to just one thing of quartet, what do you feel like it would be? When you do, what ear do you feel like you have?
I have an ear for good music. So I love good CCM. I love good quartet. I love good gospel. I love good contemporary. My problem, the only way, I'm a connoisseur of music in general. So the only way I'm gonna get turned off from something or, not do something, if it's bad.
Gotcha.
Or if it's just not appeasing to me. But I love all music, especially Christian music. Any subgenre that I'm for.
Gotcha. Did you have any type of musical influences growing up, or somebody took you under the wings, or were you just like, I just put the work in?
Outside of my pops did a really good job of shielding me from a lot of things growing up. So I wasn't out on every gig, every scene. Even like being young, doing things that I saw, older musicians do as far as like playing places. My pops just kind of wasn't on that. I played at my home church till I left for college my senior year of high school.
Right.
So as far as like musical influences, I would say my pops would have to be number one. Not his playing more so, but he's just exposed my ear to a lot because he's a quartet kid, but he loves like Kurt Franklin, Ty Tribbett,
Gotcha.
choir music. So it's my ear. I just heard a lot growing up through him. And believe it or not, on funerals, you never know what you're going to get on funerals. So you just have to be ready to, if you're playing for a funeral, especially in our culture, you just have to be ready for anything really. Other influences growing up, I really can't. Like I said, I was shielded. So outside of my pops, you had like your AC Braswells, your Brandon McCrae's, for sure. But it was only ever so often that I actually had a chance to hear them. I remember one cat I loved to hear growing up was Darren Reiser, bro.
Yes, sir, my boy.
We would leave my 10 o'clock service at Evangel Temple, bro,
Yes,
and I would
sir.
be begging my pops like, "Let's go to New Life. I gotta catch Darren
Yes,
every
sir.
week." So Darren was a cat I loved to hear coming up to this day. Like we just did a live session last week, and I was just sitting back there behind the computer like, Lord, this guy's playing so keys. But yeah, man.
Beautiful.
So I was like I say, I can't think of any like as far as heavy influences, but definitely people that kind of guide my path where I like to hear coming up.
Okay, so if you had to create a Mount Rushmore of greatest influences, greatest producers of E2's Productionz on your four, so you only got four, it could be 1 through 4. Who would be, I always wanted to ask you this, on your Mount Rushmore of greatest musicians, producers, or influencers for you?
So for me, when you start talking production, Aaron Lewis for sure. Really from a sonic aspect, like I love the way his record sounds sonically to space. If you listen to anything I've done sonically, you can kind of hear that influence. Kenny Shelton, he's a cat out of the DMV, very mature, seasoned cat. Another guy that I don't hear a lot of people say, probably because he's so young, but he's a living legend in my eyes. Rylan Anderson, RC. He's a bass player out of DMV. Incredible work. Anything J.J. Harrison you've heard in the last probably 10 years is RC. And my last spot would probably be, Man, it's so hard that last spot because like you have your Aaron Lindsay's, like your Kevin Buns.
Oh yeah. Oh man. The goats, man.
I just I appreciate guys that just can put records together. For me, that's what a producer is, like putting a body of work. It's not about coming up with arrangement, coming up with this, It's about putting a body of work together that when a consumer hits play, they're satisfied. That's so. My last slot, man, I would probably have to go. Man, I'd probably say Aaron Lindsay.
Okay, I like it, man.
Yeah.
So all of them made like a big influence on you personally.
And I didn't know it at the time for sure. But definitely, like, just listen to the records and going, like, right now I'm a credit junkie. So going back to see, okay, who did this record? I remember hearing this growing up, just not knowing who did it. But going back now, so going back listening and where I am now, definitely those four for sure.
Man, that's a great list, bro. And just really just hearing that kind of lets me know how your mindset is and the way that you strategically, and the value that you have for your music, man. So sure. I want to ask you this before we transition kind of a little bit into Unionaires. Like, what is the magic art in the way you produce your record? Do you do the music first, your bass line first, your right first? Like, take us in the world of E2B.
So when somebody says, or somebody comes to me and say, hey, I want to do a song, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to say, okay, let's get on the phone and tell me the vision for your song. Because if I don't know your vision, then I don't know how to execute it. Right. So once I kind of understand the vision, I'll say, okay, send me a rough sketch. That can be, some people are really hands-on and they'll send, a nice demo, or some people just send like a voice memo on their phone. From there, it's on me to take that voice memo, along with the vision they told me, and try to create a story some kind of way. That's kind of what I like my music to do. Tell a story. Start me somewhere and end me up, get me somewhere. And I know earlier we were talking about music that I don't like or stuff. My biggest turn off when listening to a record is if it doesn't tell a story. Like if a transition doesn't make sense, or if we don't grow as the song moves, stuff like that. So for me, it's about telling a story. A lot of times that starts with just piano and a click, just kind of feeling my way through the song. Or sometimes I'll be in the shower, like I shower thoughts. A lot of things people hear are shower thoughts. I'll be in the shower and something come in my mind, and I reach out, grab my phone, pull up the voice memo app, and go from there. So for me, it's about telling a story, and whatever that looks like sonically or instrumentation wise, you work to appease that. But for me, that, like, when producing a song, I tell people producing a song is so much not about the music. You know what I'm saying? Because especially we're like musicians, we like to let's throw our licks in, let's throw this in. But it's really, there's no consumer is gonna hit play on the song and be like, man, I love the music, and they love the song. I mean, everybody has like their staple lines or their staple this that they like to hear and that. But for me, it's about the body of work and what does that speak to. When people hit play on the song, what do they hear? How do they feel? If they're having a bad day and they play your song, can your song uplift them? What message does your song send? It's stuff like, it's so much, like I was talking with my guy here earlier. It's so much bigger than just music. Music is a part of life, and it's an uplifter. So whenever I'm working on a song, that's kind of where I'm at. What is the song gonna do in the grand scheme of things?
That's good, man. So final, the Unionaires, man, y'all doing great things. Shout out to everybody.
Absolutely.
You guys' records are phenomenal, bro. I mean, it's amazing. So tell us, man, like how did this start? I mean, you got a brand name, bro. Y'all doing great things. How did it start? Like, where did it all come from? The beginning journey of it.
So I think my first year at FAMU, right after, like I just alluded to, I was at my home church all the way up until I left to go to FAMU. I went to FAMU. I got the job at Union Cathedral Church in September of that year, so kind of early on in that year. And I just kind of did like somewhat of a poll, kind of with the people of the church, kind of asking them, just going around asking, okay, what's something that you like to see out of the music department, or what's something that you want to see change, what's something that the music department used to do that didn't do anymore. And that particular question right there got this response of, well, on fourth Sundays, the men used to get up and sing. Mind you, this was like right after COVID, 2021.
Gotcha.
So they were like, we haven't had that since COVID. We would like to see that come back. That's an easy fix. That next month, October had a fifth Sunday that month. It was actually Halloween, October 31st, 2021. I never forget the date. We did. So I said, you know what? Let's do that for them. So I sent some. We put a list of quartet songs together, and we put a word out to like the deacons of the church, the men of the church. Hey, we're doing this on fifth Sunday. Come out to rehearsal. We get to the rehearsal, and it's like 2 or 3 deacons show up. And it's kind of like they were late. Anybody that knows me knows I'm a stickler for time. So they kind of came in late anyway. By the time they came in, we were already rehearsing.
Right.
And they kind of just sat there and they were like, man, y'all sound too good. We're going to let y'all have it. It was like one of them things. It wasn't no animosity. No, it was just like, man, we're going to let y'all have it. So what ended up happening was who ended up being on that stage was the Unionaires that you see. Well, outside of one member, Caleb Arnold and DJ Hadn't came to the church yet. So it was Caleb, Manny, which is a Unionaire, Papa, who's a Unionaire, and Untold. They sung, and the band was just Union Cathedral band. The Unionaires who you see now. So it started there, and every fourth Sunday we would sing at the church, and that continued for a few months. And we kind of just started getting traction in the area about people starting, asking us to come do this, asking us to come do that. Sometimes when Bishop had to go preach, if the choir couldn't make it, we'll stand in the gap and sing. And it kind of just started being a thing. And like I said, I was already producing for at that point for the Robertson Bunch, so I kind of already had my foot in as far as music goes. So the fellas, they were like, man, we should make this a for real group. And a lot of people don't believe this, but honestly, I was against it.
Wow.
Because I know, like I tell people, music not a hobby for me. It's it's my life, it's my passion. So I get really passionate about it, and just we're peers. That business and personal relationship, that could be a hard space to occupy, and if, especially the commitment that it takes to do it for real.
Right.
It's a lot. So I was against it, but we end up going for it. And the very first thing we did was like our very first gig or outing or engagement was our live recording. It's the very first thing. I said, we're going to do it. Let's jump out and do it. So we did a live recording August 13th, 2022. So a little bit less than a year from when we initially started. And that live recording that we did is the Here We Are EP that you hear now. So that was our first, if you listen to that record, that was our first time.
Man, that's crazy.
Our first live performance outside of like Sunday morning church.
Wow.
Absolutely.
What's some of the good things that you are proud of or accomplished as a producer and a member of it? What's some of your proudest moments with the Unionaires?
My proudest moments for the Unionaires are like life moments. It's like Manny graduating high school, Papa graduating high school, seeing those guys further in life. Because like I tell them all the time, the Unionaires is a musical group, but at the end of the day, we're brothers. If the principles I preach in the Unionaires, as far as like being on time, being accountable, handling your business, being prepared, those are what I call life principles. Like when the Unionaires are over one day, whenever that day is, you'll still be able to take these things with you in life. And I do that for anybody I work with. Like a lot of people say I'm hard to work with, but it's just because it's you got to work hard to be good. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it is for me. So I would say those moments. Of course, like anytime we drop music, it's exciting. Dropping that EP was a big thing. I think it was big for them to see the love we received. Yeah. Just to see how the music that we ministered blessed people and released blessed people. And now it's just the smallest things. You'll be somewhere and I'm like, we'll go out to eat or something. Somebody be like, hey, I remember I saw y'all at this gig, and man, I love the fact that y'all are young men. Those are the moments we live for sure.
Yeah, man. The beautiful thing about it, man, is all of y'all are starting it young. So
super young.
And it's very inspiring to see that. You know what I'm saying? The things that y'all are already doing. So what's some for our listeners? What are some projects that y'all have coming up, or what can we expect kind of going into the latter part of 2024, 25 for you now? So
2025, we just dropped a Day by Day single. That was a remix to a fan favorite off our first record. That dropped October of this year. Going into 2025, we may drop a single, but for sure we're dropping our next album June 6, 2025. Ooh-wee. So that date's already locked in. That's June 6, 2025. You'll hear the next Unionaires album. For sure.
Wow, man, that's exciting, man.
Absolutely.
Good stuff. I love to hear, bro. Everything that y'all doing, like I say, we'll make sure that we put all the Unionaires things in the show notes to kind of show the great things that you've done as the producer. And you sang too, right?
Nah, I don't sing.
Oh, you don't?
I teach them parts.
Okay.
Sometimes on demos I sing that I'll cut the BGVs, but I've never sung at a live show, and I have no aspirations to do such.
Got you.
Yeah. I don't sing.
I just thought that you sung for him.
Nah. It's ironic though. Yeah, it's ironic. Yeah, I don't sing at all. I don't lead sing or background.
Got you. Just the mastermind behind the project.
I mean, I just the engine that make you
I
make
love
it
it,
move,
bro.
man.
I love it. Good stuff, man. I love everything that you're doing, everything that you stand for. And the beautiful thing about everything that you're doing, man, you're doing it at an early age. I tell anybody that the key to any type of momentum is starting at an early age, and you've got years ahead. You're one of the coldest producers in the game in this area. To my opinion, one of the top musicians in this area. And the things that you're doing for not only yourself, but for the community as well, of musicians that support you and that's behind you, bro. So I wish you nothing but success.
I appreciate it,
on
man.
the journey that you have going on with the Unionaires, and even of everything else for the people that you're working with, the future projects, whatever you're working for, man. Nothing but success, bro. Cause you one of the hottest right now, man.
Nah, bro.
One of the
All
hottest
God,
right
bro.
now.
All God.
So if you could give a word of advice to a musician right now, they're in that comfort zone. They have an idea, but they don't really know which way to step. They've lost momentum. It's hard for them to kind of progress, and they feel like they're in that place where nothing is happening, and they want to do great things. Or they're artists that they've been writing for years, and they are not. They're stuck. They're almost giving up. They want to throw in the towel. They don't want this music thing to work no more because it's not worked for them in a long time. What word of advice or encouragement can you give to that musician or to that upcoming person that wants to push music out?
So to the musician, two things. Really, both of them kind of the same answer. Number one is start. Start. Take a step forward. You know, if you feel like something not happening for you, make it happen for yourself. I remember one of the most profound things somebody ever said to me was a guy told me, he said, "You're waiting for people to invite you to a table when God has gave you everything you need to build your own."
Oh, man.
So go for it. And then the second thing I would tell that musician is be your hardest critic. Nobody beats up Eric Brown worse than Eric Brown beats up Eric Brown. So nothing nobody else tells me is gonna hurt. Cause I done told myself that. Especially, man, I'm so hard on bad notes or like programming malfunction or producing. I be in there like beating myself up because you have to. As soon as you think to yourself like, "Oh man, that's good," it's that complacency is so easy. It's so easy to creep in. So be hard on yourself and man, just start. And I promise you, if you do them two things, after a while, that ball gonna start rolling. To that artist that feel like I've been writing a long time, this music thing ain't working out for me. Number one, call me. Let's see if we can work something out for you. Let's see if we get that ball rolling. Number two is just keep going. Like I tell people, if you're faithful towards something, if you've sacrificed towards something, and if it's truly meant for you to be, it's gonna happen. You just keep going. It's going. I was just talking to a friend of mine last week about kind of this same conversation. He's kind of in the same place, and I just told him, man, it has no choice but to happen because you put in the work. It takes one open door for you to take off. And thank God for the doors that God has closed up until this point, because God. A lot of people think when as far as God guiding your path or telling you where you need to go, they think that's just opening doors and you walking through it. But a lot of times He'll shut a door too to let you know, like, hey, don't go this way. Just go that way. So that's what I tell anybody. The main thing though is, man, get started, go for it.
That's good, man.
Go for it.
So, man, how can we keep up with some of your socials, man? Anybody that's interested in doing any type of work with you, how can we keep up with you?
So on Facebook, I'm Eric Brown II. Instagram, Eric.Brown, but the E is a 3, so it's 3Rick.Brown. Those are my two main socials. Or my email, you can email me at E2B Productionz with a Z, E2B Productionz with a Z, at gmail.com. And I'm an easy person to get in contact with, man. Let's do it. Stay connected.
Love it, bro. And last thing I want to wrap this up today with, what is your ultimate, when it's said and done, when everything is written for Eric Brown, what is your ultimate dream, or what legacy do you want to leave behind, bro?
My legacy is to have a legacy. A lot of people die. I believe one of the greatest tragedies of life is to die full. I just want to die empty. I want everything I was meant to do on this earth. You know, everything I had in me. When it's said and done, I want to be able to got it all out, and it's out there for the world. That's in life. You know, that's if I have kids. That's in my marriage. That's in musically, of course. But I just want to die empty, bro. When I'm on my deathbed, I want no regrets.
That's good, bro. That's good, man. So, man, anyone out there that's interested in booking the Unionaires or something like that, how can we get that information?
Theunionaires.com. Go to theunionaires.com, hit booking, fill out that form. It'll send right to management, and they'll get back in contact with you. Super easy.
Love it, love it, love it, love it. So it will wrap up. It's another episode with the great E2 Productionz. Bro, I appreciate everything that you're doing in the community,
bro.
I appreciate everything that you're doing. Nothing but best on the journey. We're looking forward to the new big project that's coming up on June of 2025 with everything else that you have in store, brother. Nothing but kudos. I appreciate you coming in. This is definitely a part 2. I can feel it.
Let's do it.
I definitely can feel it
Let's
on
do
this
it.
one. Just sharing a little bit of your journey, man. I truly believe in, and I hope that nothing but the best on the way. And like we always say, I'll see you at the top because the bottom is too
Too crowded. Yes, sir.